All right, so you want to go deep on Alibaba, huh? Well, buckle up. We're diving headfirst into their FY 2024 annual report. And before you click away thinking annual report snooze fest, hold on. This isn't just about crunching numbers. We're talking about uncovering the secret sauce, the grand vision, the stuff that makes Alibaba tick, you know?
Yeah, it's like a peek behind the curtain.
Right.
Like, what's the master plan?
Exactly. And let me tell you, even their company values threw me for a loop. Live seriously, work happily. Who talks like that?
Right. Not your typical corporate jargon. It's weirdly refreshing, kind of human.
Totally. And get this, customers first, employees second, shareholders third. Like, did they get that backwards?
It's definitely a bold move, flipping the script on traditional business, but does it actually play out that way in practice? You know, does it affect their decisions, their products, how they treat their employees? Big questions.
It's like they're rewriting the rules of the game. And speaking of rewriting rules, can we talk about this Alibaba empire they've built? Because it's huge. It's way more than just Taobao and
Well,
Tmall.
absolutely. It's global dominance.
Right, we're talking Cainiao, their logistics arm, aiming for 72-hour global delivery. 72 hours. That's insane. Then there's Trendyol, bust out of Turkey, Lazada making moves in Southeast Asia. Oh, and Moravia popping up in Spain, promising this whole innovative and entertaining shopping experience.
It's like they're strategically conquering the world, one region at a time.
Right. But how does it all connect? Is there a method to the madness?
That's the genius of it. It's all part of this big interconnected web they call a digitalized global supply chain network, which, okay, sounds complicated.
But what does it actually mean?
Basically, imagine a seamless flow of goods and services connecting everyone and everything. It's ambitious, super ambitious, but that's Alibaba for you.
It's like they're rebuilding the Silk Road for the digital age, right? And speaking of digital, this report makes it clear Alibaba is all about that digital transformation and AI life.
Oh yeah, they're all in on everything AI.
But what does that even mean in practice? Like, how's Alibaba actually using AI? Give us the details.
Well, it's like a two-pronged attack, right? So first, they're weaving AI into everything they're already doing, like personalized shopping recommendations on Taobao. AI is doing that. Optimizing delivery routes for Cainiao. AI again.
So AI is like the puppet master behind the scenes, making everything smarter.
Exactly. But here's the real kicker. They're aiming to be a global cloud powerhouse.
Which is wild because they're already a big deal, right? Like world's fourth largest, Asia Pacific's largest IaaS provider, according to the report. How'd they get so big?
Well, think about it. Everyone and their grandma is moving online, right? The demand for cloud services is through the roof. And Alibaba, they're in the perfect spot to ride that wave. They've got the infrastructure, they've got the solutions, they're ready to go.
Plus, let's not forget, that home field advantage in China. That's a massive market.
Exactly. But they're not just coasting on that. They're also going all in on cutting-edge tech, like their own large language model, Tongyi Qianwen. Right. They're integrating it into their cloud offerings, which is a big deal. Businesses could use it for basically everything. Automating tasks, analyzing data, even creating content.
So they're not just providing the tools, they're building the whole workshop.
Exactly. But it's not just about businesses, right? Alibaba's also laser focused on us, the everyday shoppers.
Oh yeah, for sure. They want us hooked.
Well, they know that growth depends on keeping us happy and engaged, especially in those key markets they're going after, like Southeast Asia, Europe.
A lot of potential in those regions, right? Untapped markets, new customers.
Tons. And to win them over, Alibaba's investing a ton in making online shopping even more irresistible.
Which honestly is kind of scary because online shopping is already dangerously easy.
Right. But Alibaba is thinking even further ahead. The report talks about how online shopping is becoming the norm, even for brick-and-mortar stores.
Which is so true. I mean, when was the last time you didn't buy something online?
Exactly. It's not just a purchase anymore, it's a way of life. And Alibaba gets that.
Yeah, they're basically becoming the architects of our digital lives, which I gotta say is a little creepy. But, hey, that's a whole other deep dive. Anyway, back to Alibaba. This global expansion can't be all smooth sailing, though, right? I mean, there's got to be some speed bumps along the way.
Oh, for sure. Global domination never comes easy. And the report, it really highlights these regulatory hurdles Alibaba's got to jump over, especially when it comes to data privacy.
Which is huge these days, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's worried about their data.
Well, absolutely. It's a major concern. And Alibaba, they're walking a tightrope, trying to innovate and use data to improve their services, but also, not step on anyone's toes.
Yeah, not become the bad guy.
Yeah.
This is a tough balance to strike, especially with those anti-monopoly laws we talked about earlier.
Right. And then on top of that, there's this whole VIE structure thing. It's complicated.
Yeah, the report mentioned it, but I'll be honest, I skimmed over that part. What's the gist?
Okay, so basically a VIE, it stands for Variable Interest Entity. It's this thing a lot of Chinese companies use to list on foreign stock exchanges.
So they can be on the New York Stock Exchange, even with those Chinese regulations against foreign ownership, right?
Exactly. But, and there's always a but, right? The whole legality of VIEs, it's still kind of murky. Like, it's not totally clear if they'll always be allowed.
So it's a risk for investors.
Could be. If the rules change, it could have a big impact. So yeah, investors are definitely keeping a close eye on that.
Makes sense. So let's get into the nitty-gritty of the financials now. The report mentions intangible assets and impairment charges, which sound kind of scary, not going to lie.
It's not as complicated as it sounds. Okay, imagine you buy a bakery, right? And you pay extra for its reputation because everyone knows they have the best bread in town. That extra money you paid for the reputation, that's goodwill. It's an intangible asset. But then, let's say the bakery's bread. It starts tasting weird, people stop coming, the reputation takes a nosedive.
So the goodwill, it's not worth as much anymore.
Exactly. And that's when you'd make an impairment charge. You're basically saying, hey, this thing we bought, it's not as valuable as we thought it was.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
So Alibaba reporting those charges, 10.5 billion RMB worth. That doesn't mean they're doomed, right?
Not at all. It's just part of doing business. Sometimes you got to reevaluate the value of things. But the good news is Alibaba's being transparent about it.
Transparency is good, always. Yeah. Now let's wrap up with the human side of things. Because Alibaba, it's not just about algorithms and balance sheets, right? It's people.
Absolutely. And they're taking care of their people, especially when it comes to compensation.
Well, they got to attract the best and the brightest, right?
Exactly. And they're doing that with these share-based awards. Basically, employees get a piece of the pie. If Alibaba does well, their shares are worth more.
So it's a win-win. They're invested in the company's success.
Precisely. It's a smart strategy. Keeps everyone motivated and moving in the same direction.
So after this deep dive into the world of Alibaba, where do we even begin? They're huge, they're innovative, they're facing some serious challenges. It's a lot to process.
It is, but that's what makes them so fascinating to watch, right? They're at the forefront of this whole digital revolution, and they're figuring it out as they go, just like the rest of us.
And whether they maintain their position as a global tech giant or stumble along the way, it'll be a wild ride for sure. So to our listeners, buckle up, because Alibaba's story, it's far from over.